Let's ruffle some feathers, shall we? Because y'all know how I love doing that. My little clown dolls in the back over there, they are my haunted dolls. They have been wanting to be present in my videos, so here they are. Although that's not what this video is about. Now, this video will probably piss off a lot of Baneful Magic practitioners and left-hand path practitioners, but not the ones that have been in their field of study for a while. They're gonna get what I'm talking about in this video. I have made a few videos on Baneful Magic, and if you have not seen those, they are in my earlier videos, so please go check those out. I've seen a lot of chaos on this app. A lot of chaos with people doxing, hexing, you name it, with people that they don't even know, throwing hands, throwing magical systems from all over the place in Baneful Magic. And here is why a lot of the Baneful Magic that you are seeing on this app is mediocre, striking at best. Maybe striking a little bit. So most people are striking from a place of chaos. They're striking from a place of anger, resentment, and their ego. And this goes for vampirism as well, with people vampirically feeding from other people on this app. So hear me out, y'all ready? You cannot strike from a place of concise precision, from a place of chaos, because you are in the ego when you do so. You cannot vampirically feed and be healthy in yourself when you were feeding from chaos and not knowing the alchemy of transmutation and how to work that in your vessel, in your chakras, in your energy systems, and knowing how to transmute that energy. You will get very sick very fast. Your spell work may strike and create a whole rebuttal effect if you're working in chaos without balance. Why? Because you're coming from your ego. Effective Baneful Magic and effective vampiric feedings, you need to be stoic. If you are striking from a place of emotion, from anger, resentment, jealousy, hate, any of those emotions tie you to your ego and chaos. And so what happens? You have this, think of a figure 8, right? This infinity loop. When you hold an emotional attachment to somebody pisses you off on this app that you don't even know. Somebody pisses you off on the street that you don't even know. You create energetic cords, and I'm going to make a whole separate video on that. But you create energetic cords into this figure 8 infinity loop, right? You have now cords attached to this person. You're like, I'm going to go and hex this person and show them who's boss, right? What does that do? You now have these cords attached to this person you don't even know, or a person that you do know. The more feelings you have towards this person or situation, the more cords you have in different chakra systems in your body attached to that person. And when you are throwing Baneful Magic from a place of the ego through all of these emotions, you have all of these energetic ties looping you all together in this like little figure 8 infinity loop going back and forth together. This makes your spell work super easy to break, first of all. A really easy ritual hoodoo bath that anybody could make up and conjure will break your hexes and your curses that you're throwing out. Even if you're reading sacred texts, lighting all the candles, invoking all of the demons, you know what the demons are going to do when you're invoking them? For your Baneful Magic, for your petty reasons, because your ego was hurt and bruised? They're going to look at you and they're going to give you a slither of power just to see you destruct yourself with it and laugh. They ain't your attack dogs. No deity, no infernal, no Orisha is your attack dog at the end of the day. But deities, infernals, Orishas will give you a slither of power to see you destruct yourself with it. To see you thinking that you're this powerful, egotistical being, that you can destroy this person on the internet who's pissed you off, and your ego. And they're going to sit back and laugh at what you do with the slither of power to show just why humans aren't capable of handling the currency that they're given, the magical systems that they're given. Why? Because you're operating from a place of chaos and not stoicism. And then we're going to make a whole separate video on energetically, vampirically feeding from chaos and being able to transmute it effectively. Otherwise, you've attached yourself and these cords to these people that you don't even know. You now have this figure 8 loophole cycle going back and forth. Your spell work strikes, right? You see something happen in their life and you're like, I did that. You feel all powerful. What does that do? That feeds your ego more. You think it's working so effectively. What is that really doing? That figure 8 loophole cycle? And what you're doing is taking and pulling from you. It's taking and pulling from your emotion that you're so strong about in what you're doing. And it's loopholing it right back to you. And not a very productive way, not in a very healthy way. You get all high and mighty in your ego like, yes, my baneful magic is working, it's hitting. And then suddenly, you're hitting the bottle a lot more. You're hitting substances a lot more. Your depression is magnified. Your relationships are going through a downfall. Because you have not learned the art of transmutation. You have not learned the art of stoicism, of detachment. The law of detachment is one of the most powerful, strongest laws that you will ever learn from the universe. You do not strike with concise precision. You strike from a place of ego, from a place of this loophole cycle that's affecting you over and over again because you've inserted so much attachment, so much chaos into your spell work instead of staying grounded, instead of staying structured. You've now attached yourself to the very person you never even wanted to be attached to in the first place. Somebody you don't even know, let alone. All because your ego is angry, all because your ego is petty, all because your ego wanted vengeance, because it was hurt or humiliated by what somebody said. Somebody in the left-hand path, somebody in vampirism, we don't strike from chaos. We strike from a place of stillness, a place from where it's ice cold. If you cannot get your emotions to a state where you are stoic, emotionless, ice cold from a situation, and I have several videos on NLP practices, vampirism practices, starting out with the basics on how to energetically feed and detach from emotions and situations and to be able to feed off of that, I suggest you start there. You start with the groundwork. Otherwise, somebody can very literally simply go into their shower and scrub salt in their body and get rid of what you did to them. Why? Because you've now energetically figure 8 looped yourself to them. You don't even realize it. You had a slither of power from whatever deity, infernal being that you work with, right? In that figure 8. And yet you've just loopholed yourself to that person, to that attachment, to that anger, to that resentment, because you didn't know how to pull back. You didn't know how to practice the law of detachment. You didn't know how to practice stoicism. You didn't know how to practice the art of alchemy, the art of transmutation. You didn't study enough, long in those practices, to be able to remain stoic, to remain cold. And that is the only thing that's going to give you concise precision when you strike. Anything else will lead in chaos. And chaos is a beautiful thing, but chaos unmanaged and untamed will eat you alive. It will eat you alive. It will eat what you are. It will bring out the worst shadow parts of yourself. So how do you get to this stoic, cold precision where you're unaffected, where you're unbothered? Follow for more tips. I've got several videos coming out on this. I hope this app doesn't close down because I have several videos coming out on this, on trainings. At the end of the day, don't strike from the ego. Don't strike from chaos. It will eat you alive. I promise you. It will eat you alive. But I promise you can be a wonderful, powerful practitioner with concise precision and practice. It's going to start with you. It's going to start with a lot of inner work with you. So stay tuned for more tips because there's a lot more coming.